Hey everyone, what is going on? It's Wilson from Yes Insights, and welcome to the User Customer Feedback Crash Course. I've put together a course so that companies can get started with gathering user feedback as well as customer feedback so that you can learn more about your users' intentions, gain actionable feedback, make better business decisions, and take the guesswork out of knowing what your customers want because ultimately you want to build the best product, and there's no better way to do that by just talking to your customers, getting their feedback, and getting things started. I'll cover a lot in this course. This is the lesson one to it, and this is the part one where we'll get things started. Again, check out Yes Insights if you're looking for a simple user feedback platform for you to collect user feedback easily. So, a little thing about me. My name is Wilson Pang, as I mentioned. You can follow me on Twitter at WilsonPang8 or check out Yes Insights. I'm the co founder of Yes Insights. And we're pretty much a user feedback platform that allows you to take the guesswork out of knowing what your customers want, know what features to build, and get actionable feedback that you can apply to your business today and start collecting and building out that foundation to get consistently more feedback so that you can improve your product over time. Previously, I founded Inspire Beats, which was a lead generation startup, and I was head of growth for two venture backed startups. So, growth is my game, and I feel that user feedback is super important because when I was running venture backed startups and as well as working for them, I learned that user feedback will give me a lot more insights on what is going on with not just my business, not just my product, but everything in general. And it really helps with user retention, customer retention. And instead of always asking all these questions back and forth, like what does my user like, what my user doesn't like, what content to write, I just decided to create a platform where you can get feedback on it. Anyways, not too much about me, more focus on this course. Well, let's get things started in this lesson one. So here's what you will be learning in this course. You learn why customer feedback is important. You learn the different ways that you can collect customer and user feedback through surveys, through different tools, and pretty much the importance of it. You learn the right questions to ask because a lot of times what happens is that people sign up for Yes Insights, they start sending out one-click surveys, or they start getting user feedback, but they're not asking the correct questions, which doesn't lead to getting the end results that you want. So in this course, no worries, I'll cover the best questions to ask for different scenarios. For example, you learn how to come up with new marketing strategies through asking the right questions, or how to certain questions will help you with your business, and how certain questions are just too vague or too close-ended, and you'll be learning how to ask open-ended questions that will definitely help. You will learn exactly how to set up your survey and implement them on your website, in your app, to gain the actionable feedback that you need. And I'll go over use cases of customer feedback with results and how to go for them. You will also learn how to segment data and what you can do with that data. So you get a lot of feedback. Now, what do you do with it? How do you motivate your team? How do you put that feedback into action? You learn all of this in this upcoming course, and of course, a lot more. So, what is user feedback? User and customer feedback is basically the voice of the customer, is what they call it. It's about collecting opinions, actionable feedbacks, and taking the guesswork out of knowing what your customers want so that you can create a better product roadmap, make better business decisions, increase your conversion rate, and increase your user retention and customer lifetime value, which will definitely help you in the long run because too many marketers nowadays focus on user acquisitions. So you're paying money on ads, you're sponsoring emails, you're sponsoring ad posts, and the problem with that is that you're not retaining the users. I'll go over more into details about why it's more important to retain a user than to acquire one. But right now, it's very important to know that you should always have a feedback process, a feedback loop within your drip emails or in your customer success platform, whatever it is. Just make sure you're doing something to get those feedback because it will help you in the long run. User and customer feedback will tell you why the users do what they do. So it will reveal data that you can't really get access to by just using like an analytical or a heat map tool. Instead of just knowing what and how they're doing it, you need to know why. Now, what and how is important too, especially when it comes to usability and user experience, but being able to hear the actual voice of the customer, there's just nothing better than that. So let's talk about why user feedback. Of course, you will learn more about what the user and customer thinks about your product. You'll be able to reduce churn, build trust, and increase user engagement. You increase your trial to pay conversion and repurchases. So if you're like an e-commerce store, you want to focus on those metrics, right? You want to focus on repurchases and referrals. That's what user feedback can get you. If you're a SaaS company like us, you will probably want to focus on converting more trial to paid users. The whole goal of the trial is for them to try out your product, but it's not getting anywhere if they're not turning into a paid user, right? Of course, take the guesswork out of knowing what your customers really want. So you're writing this content or you're building out this new feature, you and your team are coming up with a limited amount of features for your product roadmap, but you just don't know what to build next because you don't know what your customers want. With user feedback, you'll be able to find that out. You can learn exactly what's wrong with your funnel so you can fix it as soon as possible. When I was running Head of Growth, what happened was one of my biggest responsibility was to make sure that the users were going down the funnel. And a lot of times people get stuck, either a feature is too complicated or things aren't working. And with user feedback, you can actually narrow down the focus on seeing which part of the funnel users are getting stuck on and how you can improve it, how you can fix it as soon as possible so that more users continue to move down into the funnel and become a happy lifetime customer. Of course, user feedback can also help you validate ideas and get actionable feedbacks on upcoming features as well as an upcoming startup. So you can be a new guy in the game, just coming up with a new landing page, and you can use a website widget to collect survey feedback and figure out if people actually like this product, if your product actually solves the pain point right now. And of course, user feedback will help you retain more users and increase user retention because it costs a lot more to to acquire a customer than it does to retain one. So retaining one is very important, especially we all know how hard it is to put a user into the funnel. We don't want to lose them. So here's some interesting fact. For SaaS companies, 6 to 13% annual gross dollar churn rate. So this is the amount of users that get churned over time. And this is not what we want. We want the bar to be stable or we want people to be happy, right? So one of the things is that user feedback can definitely help with this because it will help you reduce your annual churn, which of course will get you more profit in the long run and more revenue. Here's another interesting chart is that 68% of customers churn don't come back because they feel that companies aren't listening to them. So that's the main reason why customers are leaving a company. And that is so ridiculous because you hire all these customer success engineers, you hire all these customer support for your e-commerce or product company, and people are going away because they think that you're not trying to help them. They think you don't care about them. They think you're not listening to them. So being actively engaging with your customers, actively just getting their feedback, and actively just talking to them allows you to kind of make the build a relationship with your customers, generate a conversation, and make them feel like you actually care. So that instead of 68% of the customers that think that they don't care about you, that thing will be a lot lower. So you know it's probably not a product problem. It's just that customers feel like another company is much more willing to care for them and make them feel a lot more happy and more satisfied. So customer satisfaction comes a long way, and user feedback plays an important role in this. Another interesting fact is that only 32% of e-commerce customers make a second purchase. Can you believe that? So the thing about e-commerce is that it's a one-time purchase most of the time. So you don't have a recurring revenue like SaaS. It's very important that you kind of retain these customers and make sure that they come back as often as possible because if they're your advocate, they will be your referral engine. They will tell their friends to buy it, and that's how you go viral. That's how you build your brand. So this is very important, and this is exactly why user feedback is important. So you can build the best products, and you know what other inventory products to pump out for your e-commerce company if you have those feedback. Well, that wraps it up for this lesson one. Again, I'm Wilson from Yes Insights. You can check out yesinsights.com. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at wilson@yesinsights.com or follow me on Twitter. I'll see you guys in lesson 2, where I'll be covering different use cases of customer feedback and how you can start to obtain them and gather it right away. See you guys in lesson 2. Hope this was a good introduction.